This week on Capitol Hill, hundreds of dreamers have been walking through the halls of power, making their case personally, showing their face, sharing their name and their stories. Videographer Megan Smith and I were invited to join them by Forward US. It's an activism group, and share their experience with all of you. We met with Irving Gervacio. He's 21 years old, a junior majoring in photography at Western Michigan University. He told me he wants to actually earn a master's in graphic design. His mom brought him to the U.S. at just 9 years old. He now calls Kalamazoo, Michigan, home.
Well, basically, I tell them my story, which is I am son to a single mother, and the reason that she came here was because of the need for a job opportunity.
Where did she come from?
We come from Mexico. She wanted me to have a better future, and that's just kind of like the idea.
The American dream.
The American dream.
Over the years, I've met so many young people like yourselves who did exactly what your parents told you not to do when they warned you, don't ever tell anybody in public that you're not documented. Well, I tell you, like my kids, you decided, I'll do just the opposite. And you came out and started identifying yourselves and telling your stories, and that's when things started to change.
The majority of everything you remember has been here in the U.S. since you were 9.
Yes, I mean, I do have a few friends back in Mexico, and I very much love that country, but I believe that this is my home, this is where I grew up, this is where I've made new relationships.
You met with the legislative staffer, not with the member.
Yes.
And so this is the person who's in charge of kind of setting the agenda for the congressman on immigration, right? How did it go?
Well, I think it is a good thing that we are kind of putting a face to the problem, like I said earlier, but we really want to hear what the congressman has to say at the end of the day.
So they didn't commit?
No, a lot of responses that we get, unfortunately, are like, we'll get back to you, or we will talk it out, just because I know they don't want to come out and, you know, support something that their party might not be with.
Actually, the polls show most Americans do want DACA recipients to be able to stay and not be deported. Many people might have constituencies, at least in their primaries, that are very conservative. This is a tough vote to take for them. What do you say, to them when you encounter them?
Well, first of all, I know that a lot of Latinos, a lot of Hispanics have very conservative views.
Sure.
So it's like we're on the same page, except that you were born here, I wasn't. I am as American as you are, except that I was born in a different country. I might have a different background, but I love this country as much as anybody else who was born here, and therefore I feel like I've worked hard enough. I pay taxes. I'm going to school. I am doing my best to not only better myself, but to better what I am going to do for my future, and that's kind of like how this system works. People work hard and then they get the results.
When you apply for a program like this, many people don't realize you can in some ways put your entire family on the line because you have to have the background check done and all of that stuff.
Yes, it is something that we face. It's kind of a leap of faith that we took. So I mean, it's just a leap of faith that we kind of took, and it's kind of like a continuous thing that most of the students have done. So yeah.
What does your mom do for a living?
She works in a factory, and that's what she has done for the past 15 years. So therefore, I don't think that that she should be blamed for bringing me here, because she wanted just a better opportunity for me. But not only that, but she has worked hard for this country, and it's kind of sad to know that at one point or another she might be detained and just going to be thrown off to the side. It's kind of like just using people for the better of the country without the benefits that the country actually has.